Hello everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Sakeina. If you are new to this channel and are unfamiliar with who Sakeina is, she is my spirit guide. These readings are for the collective and they are timeless. You'll come upon these readings when you're meant to. So let's see what Sakeina's message is today. Sakeina begins each reading with 2 cards. The first is at my request. It's a card that I ask her to throw out to make sure that it is her that I am speaking with. And in this reading, that card was the 4 of Wands. This is Sakeina's way of telling me that she's very excited to be working with me at this time. And then the second card is the subject matter of the reading, which will be combined with this card. So that is the 2 of Swords. So with this reading, Sakeina is saying with the 4 of Wands that we should be really excited and celebrating the fact that we have the freedom to make our own choices. And with the 2 of Swords, these are 2 different paths, 2 different faces we might wear. Perhaps this would be our authentic self, and this would be the self that isn't authentic. So let's see what cards we have for today's reading. We start out with the Fool. And there might be a little bit of choppiness to this video. If I can't get the cards to focus the way I want them to, I will cut out the parts as I'm trying to focus. The 3 of Pentacles. Death. Three of Swords. Four of Cups. The Lovers. Knight of Cups. Ten of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. Eight of Swords. So what I'm seeing with all of these cards here is that Sakeina has given 2 choices. and they pop out at me like right away. So I'm going to go through them one choice at a time. And you'll see where this is going as we move forward. Okay, so with the Fool, Sakeina is saying this is how we start our lives. We really have no idea what we're coming in for. I think we do. Beyond the veil, there's a plan, for our lives, at least if that's how you believe. And we do. But then we come through what's termed the veil of forgetfulness for most of us. And we are just going to wing it through this lifetime because we really have no idea what we're coming in for. And as infants, we have a huge need to depend on others for our survival. And when we become toddlers, and I'm going to put this at about the age of 1, kids nowadays are very mature early. So they're doing things that we maybe never did as children. Things are changing. So as a toddler, we really need to guide this child because they really are so caught up in the amazement of the world that they would step off that cliff with no fear, thinking that they have wings. And this is the wild abandonment of life to start with. This is the Fool. This is our beginning. And then in this physical life, there, comes a point where suddenly we are realizing that this growth process, as we grow, other people are wanting to control everything that we do. They think they know what is best for us as we grow. And this is kind of a tug of war because we're still in this mindset. We're still in that freedom mode where we would like to do what we want to do. But, society and people are just saying, no, you have to do it like this. This is the way it works. And then with the Death card, she's saying there are really large life events. And in the course of this physical life, a life event is just something that changes majorly, something that happens or the way that the life path goes. For some, this is a game changer. For others, it's just another fight. So in this particular case, this is going to be the card of just another fight. Maybe it was a series of, bad luck situations. Maybe it's a loss of someone you're close to. It can be any life-changing event, and it's just a part of life. That's what, as a physical being, we're thinking. It's just a part of life. And life moves on. And in this physical life also, we spend a lot of our time in school. Starting at approximately age 3, I guess, now we're talking, preschool, and then moving all the way up into, senior year, graduation, and then it's off to college for many. So it's a constant educational, indoctrinated mind info coming in, just constant. And that's where all the focus is. It doesn't really give us time to consider much of anything else. It is about homework, and it's all about how much we can take in. Now, this is not a card necessarily of absorption. It is a card of growth. So we do grow to some extent. We're growing as we're being educated. And then with the Four of Cups, we hit a point where we're bored. Nothing is exciting. Our lives are day after day, same old, same old, same old. Nothing seems exciting, and we are looking for something different. But at this point in our physical lives, we're just not really willing to get off our butts and find it, so to speak. And throughout, our educational career, we'll say, we fall in love at various times. We might have, an elementary school sweetheart. We might have a middle school sweetheart. We might have a high school sweetheart. We might have a college sweetheart. And at any point, it's a big situation when we finally find that one person that we connect with, really connect with. And for, the general here, and obviously not everyone gets married, okay? But if they did, this would be the big event. This is the marriage. After all of this beginning, this is the marriage. After marriage, then, in the physical, here we are. We're in love, and love is a lot of work, but we're also working to keep ourselves afloat. It's toiling and making sure that we can make ends meet. And it's a lot of tussle. It's a lot of hard work. There's nothing easy about, rigging the sails when there's a storm a-brewing and the ocean is crazy. But we keep moving forward because that's what we need to do. And here it is kind of also about having friends and family. Sometimes this means we have children of our own and eventually grandchildren. That is, kind of the theme of things. Begins here, and now we are raising our own family. Passing on or attempting to pass on the knowledge to the younger ones that we've made some mistakes and we would have maybe wished to do things a different way. And that's the way that we try to guide our own children. This is not an easy place to be in life because it's difficult to let go and let grow, so to speak. And then Sakeina says with the Queen of Wands, we might finally get to a point where we are able to nurture ourselves a little bit, care for ourselves a little bit, be a little bit creative in life, have a hobby maybe that we really enjoy. But still, things are, based on family in many cases. So this still, even with children grown and, then comes grandchildren. So still, time is limited for self-care, for self-love, for self-exploration. And then with the Eight of Swords, we may feel as though, in our minds, we may feel as though we have mastered life because now we're old. And, we've had children, we've had grandchildren, we've done all the normal things that, society says is the way things are supposed to be. And this is our reward. We have mastered the physical life, at least in our minds. But in a way, Sakeina is saying this is kind of a trap, because we have believed that this was the only existence we could have. And for some, because everyone has a different life path, this is exactly the life you maybe are meant to lead, the way things are supposed to go. But she's saying that this is a young soul. This is, not someone who has lived multiple lives. This is a new soul, a young soul on earth. Now, the second choice here, Sakeina says, again, begins with the Fool, and it is pretty much the same as what was described for the physical life. And again, it's still a physical life, don't get me wrong. But this is the carefree individual. When we're born, that's how it is. We need people to care for us so we don't walk off that cliff. But the freedom that we feel at this time is powerful, very powerful. In the previous physical life and in this one we're about to talk about, it is powerful. So when it comes to here, where there's this tug of war of people wanting to tell us, what to do and how to do it and when to do it and why we're doing it and what's the best way to do it and so forth, we really are tugging hard, and we're finding people like us. We're gravitating towards those people who don't want to be told what to do. We're gravitating towards people who are willing to work together on this earth. And with the Death card, again, this is the big event. Any kind of big event that creates complete transformation. And in this case, with this individual, whatever happens here really does change the whole spectrum of things for this person. And when I say this person, we're talking about us as a whole, but there's many different kinds of people in the world. So I have to be able to share this with you in a logical way. So Sakeina is saying this really does change the fabric of this person's life, the one who has already started bucking the system, so to speak. This is a phenomenal change. And even if it's a loss of some sort, that loss is something to understand. It isn't just a loss that wipes us out completely and, makes us pine away for years and years and years. No, with this person, this is something that needs to be understood. So in this case, yes, this person is also going to school, but they are studying differently. They may have to do their normal homework because, the law says you have to go to school, whatever the case happens to be. But this person, in their spare time, is exploring other avenues. They're looking into uncommon themes, unusual themes. Maybe they're learning tarot. Maybe they're learning to read palms. Maybe they're scrying with crystal balls or ink. Maybe they are looking into healing modalities. Whatever it is different learning than the person or persons we spoke about in the previous life choice. So this person is really going to town because they had some kind of major event that moved them this direction. And when we come to the Four of Cups here, this is not a boredom card for this individual. This is, I've absorbed so much knowledge. I need a moment. I just really can't absorb anything else. So I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to relax for a moment. And when that happens, all of a sudden, the intuition kicks in. It's almost like they can sit there and have a daydream or a vision. And we're going to say the rest of this that we're going to cover here is the vision that comes from this intuitive moment. And this intuitive moment can last years. Okay? It isn't just I'm going to lay back and close my eyes and suddenly I know it all. That's not at all the case. But with cards, there's a limit, and Sakeina's doing the best she can with sharing with the cards that we have. So in this intuitive dream or vision, this person envisions themselves as a tree and sees and feels the roots of their own roots and the roots of another tree and the roots of a tree a mile away, all interconnected, knowing, getting the idea that, wow, everything and everyone is connected. I am one with everything else. Everything I do affects everyone else. Everything everyone else does affects me. What a concept. Whoa, okay. I am one with spirit. I am one with the universe. I am one with Mother Earth. I am. And then it comes to the Knight of Cups, which is after knowing how connected that we are with everyone, we suddenly develop, or I can't really say suddenly develop, it's probably always been there, but our empathic abilities are suddenly very strong. And we can identify emotions in other people. We know how they're feeling. If they walk in the room and say hi to us, we immediately know that something's wrong or they're very happy. We can feel those emotions. And sometimes this can even happen in a crowd of people. If a person is extremely empathic, there's a lot of emotions that can come from a crowd of people. So not only do we now know we're connected, it has created an amazing empathic ability in us. How we wish to be treated, we need to treat other people. That kind of thing. And then with the Ten of Pentacles, this is a deep connection with everyone on the planet, everything on the planet. This is understanding that everyone has a path. Everyone has a legacy to pass down to someone else. Everyone's life experience is valid. Everyone's life experience should be shared. Everyone has something to learn from somebody else's life experience. And this is also including animals, insects, birds, mammals, sea animals, okay, wild animals, domesticated animals. This is also including a sudden connection that we've maybe had most of our lives, especially over here when we first began, because we're always helped along. But This is also suddenly having an amazing connection to spirit. We're getting guidance at this point because we do understand the connection. And we are acting in our empathic abilities, treating people kindly. I guess you could call it an unconditional love. We're striving specifically for that unconditional love. And this isn't to say that we never ever mess up or go back to the old way. We do. But she's saying this is what we're striving for. This is the action that we're taking the majority of the time. And we have all these connections and understandings. And with the Queen of Wands, this is our freedom from the external control of the world. Yes, we have to follow the rules of, let's say, driving as an example. Okay, we have to drive responsibly. We have to do certain things according to the law at this point, okay? But this is understanding that we have the ability to choose our own life and to be the authority, the exclusive authority over our minds and our bodies as well. It's sovereignty, self-sovereignty. And with the Eight of Swords, you have at this point mastered your personal power. You removed the blindfolds and the ties a long time ago. Back when, you determined that everyone was connected. In this vision moment, you've removed the blindfold and you've mastered your personal power now. You've walked that path. You've released yourself and walked that path. So life is very high vibration, very strong frequency for you. It is up here with, getting up here with the spirit guides and your higher self. You're living your higher self, more or less. This physical world that the previous person lived, you could never go back to that. And that's not to say that you don't make a marriage connection, because of course you can. And you would be a wonderful marriage partner if you find a like-minded person and one who is evolving the way that you are. If you find that, you can work together then to evolve, so to speak, to grow, to master this state of mind of no trap. And Sakeina's also pointing out that this bottom row here, we have spirit, we have water, we have earth, we have fire, we have air, all 5 elements, the balanced individual. So I guess she's saying, where is your balance? Is your balance in the previous physical life, the first physical life that she talked about? Or is it in the evolvement of the second that was shared here? Where at the tail end, there is, a trap of the mind for the first one saying, this is all there was to life. And it was good enough for me, but there really is nothing else. Or is it the state of mind where there's no trap, where you've mastered your personal power, and what you take to your soul for your soul growth is the higher frequency. Food for thought, right? Sakeina brings out some very interesting things for us to ponder. So that is it for this reading. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and we will see you again for another. Take care.